I got so much happiness in my childhood dancing to a Yash Chopra song, to a Raj Kapoor song, to watching actors do what they did in that time. So that's what always gave me joy. Shah Rukh Khan has kept away. People are waiting, desiring, and I think the more they wait, the more they will really, really give back in terms of love to, I believe, the biggest star of our country. Ajay Devgan's a very deeply intense, private, and silent man. But he'll say one word, but it'll be impactful. Like literally, my friends range from like Shah Rukh's son Aryan, who's like a buddy of mine. Like we chat like friends.
With Shah Rukh and Ahmed, will they be on Coffee with Karan this season?
Well, Amir, yes. Shah Rukh, I think, should really, really only explode at the time of Pathaan.
सर मैंने आपके रैपिड फायर को देख के करना शुरू किया. We've got like millions and millions of views. Just inspired by your rapid fire.
I see it, Faridoon. I get very happy. And I'll tell you, I feel flattered that, rapid fire is a part of so much, but you do it so well.
No, thank you so much. जैसे अभी आपने कहा कि हर चीज़ आप इंटेलेक्चुअल्स को आप प्लीज़ नहीं कर सकते. लेकिन एक बहुत ही फैसिनेटिंग सी बात ये है कि जैसे आपकी अगर फिल्मों की बात करें, तो जो कपड़े हैं या फिर जो गाने हैं, जिस तरीके से रंगी साड़ी फॉर एग्जांपल रिसेंटली आपकी फिल्म में आई थी, तो उसमें जो जिस तरीके से कलर्स को यूज़ किया गया है, जो एक डांस स्टाइल्स हैं और इवन जो म्यूजिक का स्टाइल है कि उसमें कविता जी का एक क्लासिकल है ब्लेंडेड विद पॉप टेम्पो सॉर्ट ऑफ एलिमेंट मिक्स विद इट. ये जो पॉप कल्चर जो आपके जरिए जो आपके आया है, somehow I think that is the biggest takeaway of India in more ways than one. And Bollywood इंटेलेक्चुअल की सिनेमा के लिए तो वहाँ पर यूरोपियन सिनेमा देखेंगे लोग, but for Bollywood and for India, this is what people are fascinated with: song and dance, colors, larger than life.
Yeah, and that's what I believe as a filmmaker. That's what I grew up watching.
Yeah.
I grew up watching that cinema that was larger than life. It was hugely entertaining. It was full commercial, over the top, melodrama, गाने हैं, डांस सीक्वेंसेस हैं. वो मेरे लिए वो हिंदी सिनेमा था और हमेशा रहेगा. Of course, हर किस्म की सिनेमा बननी चाहिए. आप बहुत सारे ऑडियंसेस हैं हमारे देश में. Some want to watch something very cerebral, very parallel, very alternate in its syntax. Somebody wants to watch like all the great glory of Indian cinema. When I see the big event films and love stories with songs and dances, it all makes me happy because that's where my love for cinema began. I didn't fall in love with cinema watching like a Spielberg film. I mean, he is a genius and the world applauds him. I fell in love watching a Yash Chopra song. So that is the truth of me and I cannot deny that. I can't lie and say that, oh, when I mention names, I'm going to say, I'm going to say Francis Ford Coppola, Martin Scorsese, Steven Spielberg, James Cameron, all these big names, legendary names, they're all geniuses. But yeah, I got so much happiness in my childhood dancing to a Yash Chopra song, to a Raj Kapoor song, to watching actors do what they did in that time. So that's what always gave me joy. And I don't want that child in me that grew up on that cinema to ever die. Because that's what brought me into this business in the first place.
You have this amazing connect with youngsters. I was speaking to Varun Dhawan the other day and he said that अभी तो वो शनाया उनके साथ में रहना पसंद करते हैं because he likes Janvi and Sara and Ananya. And ये भी कहा जा रहा है कि that you're already planning for Ranbir and Alia's kid that is going to be coming.
What rubbish. I mean, they made me sound like मैं कोई wedding planner हूँ, matchmaker हूँ. It's like literally like they made me into Seema Taparia. Like जो I'm bringing people together. I'm like, these are all friends. And yes, I connect with the younger lot for my own selfish reasons. Because I feel that they give me an insight from their lifestyle and what they wear, what music they listen to, how they speak, how they handle their relationships. It's always giving me ideas. So I make myself accessible to them and I create that kind of easy energy between us so that they don't feel awkward around me and I don't push the age or seniority card in their face. They're all friends. Like literally my friends range from like Shah Rukh's son Aryan, who's like a buddy of mine, like we chat like friends, to like Dharamji. Right now I'm working with, who have a very cordial, hugely respectful relationship, who's 86, 87. Right. So my bandwidth is literally traveling 6 decades.
So will Shah Rukh and Ahmed, will they be on Coffee with Karan this season?
Well, Amir, yes. Shah Rukh, I think, should really, really only explode at the time of Pathaan. So I know that he's kind of not doing much, not facing any media right now. And I think that's the best decision for him, because when Pathaan does come, it's going to be a tsunami at the box office, because Shah Rukh Khan has kept away. People are waiting, desiring, and I think the more they wait, the more they will really, really give back in terms of love to, I believe, the biggest star of our country.
All right. What is the importance of silence for you as a not silence, listening for you as a communicator? Communicator, I mean, like be it a talk show host, even as a filmmaker, you are a communicator. You're listening to a lot of stories. How important is aggressive listening for you?
Any good talk show host should be a good listener, because the only way you can actually have an engaging conversation is if you derive every question from your guest's answers, not from perhaps a paper with notes written. I've never sat on Coffee with Karan with anything. You know, I just talk to them like we're talking in my own drawing room, and I listen to what they have to say. You know what I've noticed in many interviews, I feel like the journalist or member of the media, with all due respect, many times they're not listening to what you're saying. They know they have to ask you 10 things. They will ask you 10 things. Sometimes you can ask 2 things, but get a really insightful answer on those 2 things that will make your interview really happen, instead of like going through a beat sheet. So I believe in the power of listening and the power of reading the room and then taking the interview forward. Sometimes you know that the actor is being a little held back, so you open them up slowly, you know, or somebody's talking too much and then you take them towards another way. Sometimes you have 2 people, so you try to divide that and make sure that the conversation is not focused on just one person. So a lot has to go on in your own brain when you're doing an interview, which I'm sure you're used to.
Ji, so what is the preparation for, say, someone like Ajay Devgan compared to, like, say Akshay Kumar?
You know that Ajay Devgan's a very deeply intense, private and silent man, but he'll say one word, but it'll be impactful. So you make sure that the conversation gives him that ability, that strength of his, because he says one line, but that line will be a trending line. You know, he's a very, very well spoken man. Akshay is a lot of fun, and Akshay comes alive with the guest next to him. So when we've had Akshay with Tina, his wife, it was a riot. We had with him Ranbir Singh, it was a riot. And trust me, his episode with Samantha is another riot coming up.